From a secret Minecraft collab that literally no one knows about to Fortnite's most forgotten items, only veterans will remember the battle bucks. Most fans by now are probably familiar with the concept of V-Bucks, but the secret story behind this mysterious currency is almost 5 years in the making. All the way back in Chapter 1, Season 1, leakers discovered the secret money that you could earn just from playing the game. You wouldn't have to buy them. I mean, free skins sounds pretty nice, but the concept never took off, and instead we have V-Bucks. But for the OGs who were there from the very beginning, you might want to check your locker, because there was a secret Minecraft collab in 2017 that less than 1% of players have. Just 1 month before Battle Royale came out, Fortnite hosted the Search for Survivors event, and everyone could choose a creator to support. Well, if you pick ChaosFlow44 as your commander, you'd earn his free banner, a Minecraft watermelon. And for one of the most nostalgic things that veterans remember is the Unbreakable ice cream truck.
Dude, this ice cream truck has 100,000 health.
These are spread all over the map in Chapter 1, and nobody knew why. If you took the time to actually destroy it, you wouldn't get anything, although there was a secret chest hiding inside the truck at Dusty. Something that is missed by a lot of people is transparent edits. As players got better at building over the years, they learned to edit, and it turns out that being able to see through walls was a little overpowered. In modern Fortnite, it's just a big blue hologram when you go to edit, but back then it was basically just wall hacks. And something that barely anyone remembers was an LTM that paved the way for zero builds. During 14 days of Fortnite, Epic dropped Ground Game, and it limited you to 30 wood, 20 stone, and only 20 metal. It was basically their test run for a mode without building, which is why you might be shocked that it was so forgotten. If you were a fan of glitches back in the day, you'll remember the double speed pickaxe. In Chapter 1, people found out that you could keep switching back and forth between your gun and your pickaxe, and it would make it 2 times faster at farming. This went on for weeks until Epic finally patched it. And one of the craziest things that barely anyone knows about was the Chapter 2 nuke. We have never had a nuke live event, but this came pretty close. In Season 3, coral buddies appeared on a small island, and you could give them materials to evolve their species. They quickly went from the wooden age to the stone age before making modern buildings and a rocket pad, and then things got dark. They asked you for a nuclear waste container, and once you found it, it'd go horribly wrong. The entire coral buddy species was wiped out, with only a few of them remaining and becoming cyborgs. I mean, looking back, this was nuts. I'd love to see more stories like this in the game. But there's an Easter egg that nobody remembers: the disappearing teddy bear. Over the years, we've learned about the story between the bears and the gnomes. It was a war. But before any of it happened, we had the original Teddy Easter egg, and it confused everyone. At the soccer stadium from Chapter 1, some players noticed that a bear could be spotted in one of the cars, but if you got too close, it would vanish without a trace. Whether this is a glitch or Epic trying to spook us, you need amazing memory to remember this. It wasn't the only unexplainable secret. On the other side of the island, you were once able to find an upside-down house. This was hidden in the stacks of corn at Fatal Fields, and to this day, nobody knows why this place is upside down. I mean, even the chest was hard to grab. And there's a Fortnite mode that millions of people never even knew existed. In Chapter 1, Season 4, one of the first LTMs to ever release was called Teams of 12. It was just like duos and squads, but with 8 teams fighting each other instead. People hated this mode back in the day because Battle Royale was not designed for having teams of 12 people. So Fortnite deleted the mode just 2 days later, saying that it isn't quite in a state where we want it to be, and I didn't even know this existed. But something that will definitely bring back old memories is the most controversial backbling in Fortnite history. When pets were first brought to the game in Season 6, everyone loved them, and the most popular pet was this little guy, Bonesy. That's when things got ugly, because in Season X, Epic Games released a new backbling into the item shop called Gunner, and what happened next was unlike anything we had seen before. Gunner was almost identical to Bonesy with just a few color changes, and the worst part, Fortnite wanted you to pay 1,000 V-Bucks for it. This sparked an outrage, and within hours, Epic were forced to refund everyone and deleted the backbling forever. They even gave people an extra 200 V-Bucks for the inconvenience. So if you're really feeling nostalgic, you'd have to be a day 1 player to remember this part of the game. There used to be a crashed battle bus on the side of a mountain in Chapter 1, and it was there for quite a while, but most people took the chest and didn't really pay attention to it. Looking back, I can't believe that I forgot about this place. It's bringing back so many memories. And there's a backbling that could be sitting in your locker right now, which is one of the rarest cosmetics in the entire game. In April 2018, Fortnite servers went down for a long time, and people were really frustrated about it. So to make up for it, Epic Games gave out a free backbling called the Rust Bucket. It was in the item shop for 6 days and cost nothing to claim. Only people who logged in got it, and then it was deleted forever. If you have this on your account, it's a pretty good way to show how long you've been playing. But you don't need to prove anything if you're someone who remembers the Disco Ball Challenge. For most people who dropped at Loot Lake back in the day, you'll probably recall the Disco Room. It had dance floors and a ton of loot, but you could dance with your friends to complete the challenge. Most people never finished this because barely anyone landed here, and if they did, they killed you while you were dancing. Which is why one of my personal favorite memories is the animals of Chapter 1. For months, we had some amazing pre-built structures on the map that became iconic. Some of these returned in Chapter 3, like the chair, but there are others which nobody remembers. At Snobby Shores, there was a wooden rabbit, while Lucky Landing had a stone pig, but the more memorable ones included the metal llama and Moisty Meyer's famous crab. And while everyone knows that Avengers Infinity War was the first crossover ever in Fortnite, nobody remembers what the first Marvel skin was. You could guess people like Deadpool or Thor, but it was actually Black Widow. And this is followed by Star-Lord. I mean, these were the first Marvel cosmetics. Pretty surprising, but it gets even crazier because this OG version of Black Widow has actually never returned, so consider yourself lucky if you got her. Now, over time, we've become pretty used to the POIs in Fortnite. Many places have had their time in the spotlight, and others were only in the game for a few weeks. That is why you might be shocked to hear that some of Fortnite's most popular POIs actually never had a name. In Chapter 1, Salty Springs was just any other town on the map, and from day one of Battle Royale, Dusty Depot was completely unnamed. It wasn't until a few seasons later that we learned what Dusty was actually called. The same goes for places like OG Factories and Viking Village. Factories was named by the community, and Viking Village was never officially given a spot on the minimap. It was only named once in a Fortnite tweet. But even that isn't as shocking as Fortnite's free vending machines. When they first released, they gave out items for absolutely free. It was only for your first purchase, but even then, it only required materials to get insane loot. I mean, people would drop at a POI, farm wood, and then buy a scar within minutes. So Fortnite got tired of players taking advantage of new features, and that is why over the years, they found ways to take revenge. On April Fool's 2018, Fortnite secretly changed the Impulse Grenade to send players super high. It tricked so many people, it caused thousands to be eliminated by fall damage. They even changed the Boogie Bomb, so if you're hit by one, you get a super jump ability. Sometimes Epic has gone too far, and the same year we were shocked to see Wreck-It Ralph at Risky Reels. Every few days, he'd just appear on the screen and kinda wave at us. It seemed like a 100% confirmed major crossover, and then all we got was an emote. To this day, it's one of the most confusing collabs that Fortnite has ever done. Luckily, not all memories are bad. We used to have an amazing system in Chapter 1, and it was Battle Stars. Instead of combining levels with the Battle Pass, Fortnite used to give out Battle Stars to let you buy tiers. You could find them in loading screens and actually locate them on the map. It was really fun. And so were the early days of Fortnite's Playground mode. This was the very first version of Creative, and even though it was super limited, that didn't stop people from going crazy with it. For weeks, YouTubers like Scissors would build entire obstacle courses in Playground made of regular old Fortnite materials, and looking back, this was insanely impressive. One thing we are all thankful for is the removal of the laggiest item that Fortnite has ever had, the smoke grenades. These are super useful when you need to escape a fight or heal up, but the problem with the smoke is that it just broke people's games. It was super laggy at times, and the smoke even went through walls. So hopefully now that we have Zero Build, Fortnite will release an improved version. But even though smoke went through the walls, in Chapter 1, it was impossible to build if something was in the way. One of the most annoying things about early Fortnite was a rogue tree, or even something like a fence or a car. These would make your builds go red and ruin an entire battle. Speaking of battles, you didn't have to play Fortnite in 2018 to know about one of the most iconic rivalries in all of gaming, Ninja vs Tfue. It was the topic that everyone was talking about, from watching them 1v1 to seeing them eliminate each other in tournaments. It was incredible. The saddest part is we probably won't see a rivalry like this ever again in Fortnite. But if there is one arch nemesis we could all agree on, it was the Risky Reels challenge from Season 4. Fortnite once had a quest that made you search 7 chests at Risky, and it was nearly impossible. It's one of the most famous challenges of Chapter 1 because of how many people landed here to unlock the free visitor skin. If you remember this challenge, you probably remember the struggle that came with it. And it was made worse by the fact that Fortnite used to have no ammo cap. Now, if you have an explosive weapon or even something like a sniper, there's a limit on how much ammo you could hold. But in Chapter 1, Epic didn't care. There were people running around with RPGs and collecting hundreds of rockets. It was chaotic, which also made items like the original SMG 10 times stronger. This is one of the community's favorite weapons for a long time before Fortnite changed the design in Chapter 2. It has never returned, and honestly, there's no evidence that it ever will. And of course, one of the most OG things you could remember is the very first Battle Pass. Right now, we are in Chapter 3, Season 3, but if you rewind all the way back to the first Battle Pass, you'll remember that Black Knight was the final skin in this set. Although it's technically wrong to call him a Tier 100 skin, because the Battle Pass only had 70 tiers. It's a weird fact that barely anyone remembers. But this has been Tommy. Keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.